Running never did much good. Hiding doesn't last forever. You can't run faster when it's you you're running from. So you throw your hands up like doves to the setting sun. Somewhere, John, the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil. You'll find the mysteries enthralling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.
Welcome to Karen Holton's podcast. Karen permanently lost 178 pounds and found happiness and success by following her own advice. She has now developed that advice into the quantum health transformation. Heal, evolve, and thrive. Karen's website offers a free webinar workshop series, and you'll also find tools, methods, and practices to assist you to become the change you want to see in the world. She believes that we are all connected. Heal the planet by healing yourself. Connect with Karen at her website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, and through Facebook at Facebook.com/Quantum Health Transformation. Now for the podcast.
Hi, welcome back to Quantum Health Transformation. My name is Karen Holton, and I'm hoping that you've been following along from my website and my 9 steps to Quantum Health Transformation free video workshop series located on YouTube. Also, there's links to the videos on my website, which I'll get into a little bit later. And I'm inviting you back for step 4, the second video of step 4. We've already covered introduction to the nubby ball and light-dark integration in number 9, black. Then we did step 8. We're supposed to be working our way from the bottom to the top. And you don't have to do it this way. You can pick and choose cafeteria style how you would like to watch these videos. Every single one is meant to work with every other one. So this is a gestalt or a, I guess, quantum way of looking at health. And once you've got your foundation, then you move up to the higher things. But they bounce back and forth, and any part of this will do you some good. So I recommend you watch both the primers, which are slideshow presentations of the core details of the information for every step, and also the live videos, which is me, like in this video, step 4, explaining how I use this process in my own life. So we did step 8, we did step 7, we developed new core belief systems, then we went into detoxifying and the power of emotion. We took a look at food as medicine, and now we're on heuristics. Now heuristics is, there's various definitions for the word heuristics, and I'll give you the context that we're going to be using it in today. We're going to be using it today, whoops, here we are, sheet number 2. I always get a little silly when I do these live videos because I'm a little bit nervous. But anyway, bear with me. I think you'll like the information. So getting back to heuristics, this is Quantum Health Transformation, step 4, the live video. Heuristics is self-learning through trial and error experimentation. And I believe that in the human experience, the fundamental base of our learning experience stems from words and vocabulary. So this lesson is very much not only taking a look at words. I'm hoping that you have watched the primer for this step. If you haven't, please go back and watch the primer, because it'll give you all the core information you need to better understand this step. So the live video is sort of me explaining from my own life how I use the information that's found in the primer. So please stop this video right now. If you haven't already watched the primer, go back, watch the primer, then come back and watch this video. Okay, so again, getting back to words and vocabulary being the basis for our learning experience, I believe in the human experience, and which is, of course, all the details of this are already on the primer. So, assuming you've watched the primer, you've got all the basic information, I'll continue now. So basically, we want to experiment with life. So we want to change our habitual language. And once we change our habitual language, which is the words we choose to describe our experience and to communicate with other people, we find a funny thing. Our whole world starts to change. So you will notice how this affects our experience and the outcomes from our experience. And the outcomes are the learning and the evolving that we do from our experiences. When we practice over time, altering our words and our vocabulary, the results will increase in frequency and intensity. In other words, the more you practice, the better you get. And I really recommend you to try some of the things in this presentation today, and you'll find, wow, big shifts and much easier to make in our life. Okay, so another way of talking about changing our learning outcomes in our life is fake it until you make it. And when we're faking it until we make it, we can kind of go two different roads with it. There is a difference between denial and affirmation, and I want to explain that difference to you today. Denial, the changes are mental. So we may go, I have debt. Let's just use some examples. Let's use weight loss and debt. There's a myriad of different examples we could use, but those are two that are very close to home for me. Okay, so in denial, my changes were mental. So I would go, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to reduce my debt and have more income. But actually, what I'm doing is just lying to myself and lying to other people. So I create a story around the denial and around the changes I want to make, and I start passing that to myself and to other people. Well, what happens is our core belief systems are not really fully addressed, and so our actions don't change. So the changing is basically in the mental arena. We need to bring it down into our physical, everyday, three-dimensional experience. So we need to address our core beliefs. And if we haven't done that, we end up with a lack of commitment and certainly a lack of faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is the assured expectation of things not yet realized. So faith is believing that something is coming, something that you want, something that you need in your life, something you desire in your life. But you got to have the core belief systems in place before you can have the faith. And the faith is you're expecting for it. You're waking up every day. You're watching for the results you want to find in your life because you've got commitment. But when you're following the denial process, not so much. So what ultimately happens is you have no core of self-love, because in denial there is no self-love. And denial is really common in the addictions arena. And we all struggle with addictions of one kind or another, even if it's just too much drama in our lives to keep our adrenaline pumping so we feel more alive, right through to being addicted to heroin or cocaine or cigarettes or God knows what. So this is sort of the denial flow chart. Now, the difference that we want to look at here is transformative affirmation. So the changes are quantum. They're not just in the mental arena. They're quantum. So what does quantum mean again? Quantum again means that it might have to do with our belief systems, the words we choose, what we eat, what we think, how we deal with other people, our communication skills, what we do to relax. All the things that make up our human experience have to be addressed within transformative affirmations. And now you're going to see a different result. What happens is our internal and our external dialogue changes. So what we tell ourselves and what we tell other people changes. So it could, at this point it sort of does look like lying. And it's pretty challenging in the beginning. It's like turning a big wheel. It's hard at the beginning, and as you turn it and get momentum, it gets easier and it gets easier. Okay? So now what we want to do is we want to have actions that support our new vocabulary and our thoughts and our desires. So this internal dialogue turns into actions, which then flow into total commitment and strong faith. So if we do a little tiny bit every day towards our goal, we're turning that wheel, we're making that goal come to us, and our faith gets stronger and stronger. We just know we're going to get this goal. We just know we're going to achieve what we want to achieve in life. And that's possible through a transformative affirmation process. There's a healthy core of self-love, and it spills outside of yourself. So what we do is as we build confidence, and how do we build confidence? We build confidence by giving ourselves small goals to achieve, small, easy to attain goals. And every time we attain a goal, wow, our confidence comes up. And as our confidence comes up, the more sure we are that we're going to get the end result that we're desiring. And the faith is much, much easier. And so we fill up with self-love. We fill up with positive ways of looking at our life and ourselves, and that spills forth to, I can't really explain it, but a huge fountain of internal strength and love. And it spills out into everything you do. And so you start interacting with people, and that goes more positively, and things start coming into your life, and people are ever so helpful. People, I believe people in the core of their heart of hearts, if you take away our addictions and our miserablenesses and our stories, we're good, we're very good, and we help each other. And we support each other. And this starts flowing back in, and it boosts what's going on inside of you. I know, I get emotional on these videos, and I watch them afterwards, and I'm embarrassed, but I just want you to see what I see. I want you to have what I have. Because it's not really that hard. It just takes a little bit of change. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So then the quantum reality shifts. And so the quantum reality shifts, and we get what we want. And this is a hell of a lot better than the old denial system that we maybe tried before. I tried the denial system many, many times. I thought I was doing the transformative route, but I really wasn't. And it wasn't until I started seeing the quantum changes that needed to happen before I really started to evolve. Okay, enough about that. Okay, lack of commitment leads to inconsistency. So words and vocabulary are affected, and the quantum field becomes muddied between new positive concepts and our deep inner self-doubt. And we all have self-doubt. Now, what I want to just cut away to here is Dr. Emoto did studies with water crystals. This is a very, very famous study. Google Dr. Emoto in many, probably a couple places in my primers. I've got the website where you can go and look at the information. Okay, so what happened is he put a message written on paper and just taped it to jars of water, or glasses of water. Now, the funny thing about this, and this is explained in the primer why this is, so I won't go into that now, but it doesn't matter what language you use. One consistent message on that jar changed the structure of the water so that when it was frozen and they took a microscope and looked at the crystals responded to the words. And the words that were healthful and loving changed the crystals into the most beautiful designs. And negative words, or even ignoring, changed things so that they weren't beautiful. They weren't aligned mathematically to give us what we want and to give us the things we need. Okay, so just like in the water crystals, okay, what happens is we need to be consistent with our message. How much of your body is made up of water? Okay? And so the messages that we're giving ourselves through the stories we create about ourselves, our past, our present, our future, and who we are, affects the water, but also everything about us, and energetically what we're putting out there. Okay? And so, let's see, where am I? So water crystals change when messages are consistent. We change when our messages are also consistent. And so I use a harm reduction strategy which helps you to build some commitment towards your goals, okay? So going back up here, words and vocabulary affect the quantum field. You don't want it to be muddied. So if you've got in your heart of hearts a disbelief, or that you believe that your goals are not reachable, or that you're not worthy, if you don't deal with those core issues, you muddy up your field, and so that's going to stop you or prevent you from getting the very things that you want, you desire in your life. See what I mean? Okay, so let's see, anyway, okay, we'll go on. We'll just go on. Okay. So, you want to prove to yourself that you are committed. You don't have to prove it to anybody else, because nobody matters. This is all about you. Oh, I shouldn't say nobody matters, of course. But when you improve you and your life, and it spills out, it improves everything. And I've gotten into that in other videos of mine. I want you to go back and watch the Step 9 video if you haven't already watched it. Actually, there's two of them, the primer and then the live video. And I'll tell you why. Is because it really gives you an effective tool on how to get in there and find out what your core belief systems are. Find out what your true stories are that you have for yourself and for your world and what you tell other people. Okay? And that is why I put Step 9 first, and Step 4 comes a little, later on after you've done different steps. So go back and watch Step 9 and take a good look at your life and start working on your honesty towards yourself, because you deserve it, and your honesty towards others because they deserve it. And until we get down and dirty with who we really are inside, this stuff is not going to be as effective. So go back, do the dirty work, and then come back and do this, and you're going to find some amazing results, because I want you to be successful. When you're successful, I'm successful, and I love being successful. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so prove to yourself that you're committed. Use affirmations, visualization, and add actions weekly, okay? This has all been covered in previous videos, so I won't get into it. But I am going to illustrate what I'm talking about here through two goals that were my goals: weight loss and abundance. So along with carrying 178 pounds of excess weight, which I've now taken off, and this is my ninth year of staying within my goal weight, and I'm very happy about that. So obviously I'm doing something right? Okay, so listen to what I have to say here. Weight loss. Every week you need to add something. Nobody's just going to go from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. It takes time to add things, one step at a time. And we don't worry about the negative things that we're doing, the harmful things. If we're still smoking cigarettes or we're still eating a bit of sugar, we don't worry too much about that, because we're going to bring healthful things into our arena. And that's what harm reduction is about. One step at a time, you bring in a healthful practice here, a healthful practice there, and pretty soon you're filling up your world with healthful practices, and the negative stuff just goes away. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to not do anything. You do what you're doing, and then you take some little steps towards where you want to go. So getting back to weight loss, I wanted to lose weight, so I started to do some detox. I started to do some live food, introduction more live food into my life. I started doing stretching and going for walks. I bought an outfit that was always 2 sizes too small that I could try on every couple of days to see. What that did is it tells my subconscious or my higher self, hey, I'm really serious about this. I went out and bought the dress. I want to wear that dress, or I want to wear those pants. I want to get into some skinny pants, whatever, okay? So the thing is this is what worked for me. Later on I'm going to do a video just on weight loss, and I'll give you lots of tips that I've used, but this is giving you the point. I had to physically step out and do things that were in harmony and prove that I was serious with my goals, okay? So I encourage you to go out and find out whatever works for you. Just start doing a little bit of what I've suggested in my videos, or if we're doing live conferencing, or if I'm your lifestyle coach, we'll be doing that as well. Okay? So this little step here, not too much, has led me to lose 178 pounds and keep it off more or less. I mean, sometimes I gain 10 pounds or lose 10 pounds depending on stress, extra surgeries, God knows what. Okay, come on. You know what I'm saying here. Just got to do it, like Nike says. Okay, abundance. Okay, along with weight and health problems, I had an abundance problem. I was in debt. I was terribly in debt, and I didn't have the health to go out and earn the money to pay off my debt. What was I going to do? Not only that, is I'd embarked on a lifestyle that's not cheap. Organic food costs more than non-organic food, and I only eat organic food. Excuse me. Raw seeds, nuts, things like that cost money, okay? Where was I going to get the money? I didn't know, but I had this sincere desire to get out of debt. I knew that was the foundation, okay, and the place I needed to start. So I'm inviting you to do an honest appraisal of your debts and assets. That's what I did. And then plan a realistic debt reduction strategy for yourself, okay? And that can include whatever you want, but these are some of the steps that I took, okay? I did a budget. So I took a look at my bills. Oh, it was a mess, like, you know, I was getting $7,000 in debt. What the hell was I going to do, right? I created a budget for myself. So what happened is I didn't spend more than I made every month. Now, I didn't have enough to even support the lifestyle, so what was I going to do? I did whatever the universe threw at me at the time. And I refer every once in a while to some unsavory jobs I had. Well, there's nothing wrong with the jobs I had, but it was a very humbling experience to go out and dumpster dive for returnables. And do you know how many wine bottles? See, everybody gives you the glass because the beer cans are easy to go cash in themselves. But the glass is heavy and burdensome, and you get 10 cents for every wine bottle. And so you're collecting all this glass and all these wine bottles, and you take them in to the recycler to make $50, which is what I needed to make every week in order for me to have enough to eat on. I had to go out and I had to beg and I had to hustle and I had to climb through some dumpsters. That's what it took. But guess what happened? Is it didn't last long. Pretty soon there was a little bit better job and then another little bit better job, and just little things just started coming out of the woodwork, and I was able to start affording. So more money coming in every month than going out. You can do it. I did it. And I was sick, and I was alone, and I did it. So you can do it too, okay? Then pay your bills. Don't hide from your bills. Don't shove them in a drawer and ignore them. They need to be addressed. And so every month what you need to do is you need to put some money on your bills. Now, an interesting thing is I use the amount of $20. $20 is not a lot of money. $20 in North America isn't a lot of money. Let me put it to you that way. And so $20 out of my budget every month, I didn't notice a huge big difference. And it didn't matter whether I was collecting pop bottles and beer cans and wine bottles, or whether it didn't matter what I was doing. $20 was something that I could spare. So I've actually supported through all my years of poverty, I have supported charity work, causes that I believe in. For the last 9 or 10 years, I have been sending $20 every month to Covenant House in Vancouver, because it helps homeless youth have a bed for the night and a hot meal. And I was a homeless youth, and I know what that feels like. And so it's a charity that I wanted to support, and I continue to support. So if I can do that, I can also put $20 on my bills. So you find your bills and you pay them. You contact them. You tell them you're sincere about wanting to clear up your debt. And you start working with them and you start paying off your bills. Little bit at a time. The same way you're going to build health and build a new life for yourself is the same way, same method, same pattern on how you're going to get some abundance in your life. And abundance, you know, you can buy all the lottery tickets you want. And if you're not paying your bills, and if you're not taking care of your budget, which is kind of like being on an economic diet, okay, the universe is not going to respond, because you need to do it yourself. The universe won't do for you what you can do for yourself. But you stretch your arm out and your foot out and you get started on a healthful path. Guess what? The universe will meet you like you never dreamed possible. Oh, another emotional moment, because I can't describe, words aren't enough to describe the miracles that are possible to pour into your life every single day. It's a mind-blowing experience being here in this time, in this space. Okay? So then we want to separate our wants from our needs and simplify our lifestyle. Simplifying our lifestyle takes care of a whole lot of stuff. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Another thing I did was all my bills, I whited out the totals and I put zeros in there, and I put them up where I can see them, so it looked like I had already paid my bills. And I swear that happened. And I don't know how I did it, but without lying or cheating or stealing or committing any crimes, I was able to pay off my debt. And to be debt-free, even if you don't have much of an income, makes you one of the richest Canadians there are. And I feel really, really good about it. Just like I feel really good about my weight loss, I feel really good about taking care of my debt And now abundance is starting to flow in. And I'm starting to get the things that I need, obviously. Since I started doing this video series, I went from just a Gmail account and a small camera to having my own website. So it's coming. So that's about it. So I just wanted to cover weight loss and abundance. These are two examples where you have to get off your butt and move towards your goals. Very, very important. And pretty soon, you're going to see amazing things in your life. Okay, a little speedy here. Okay, so that's it for heuristics. Watch the primer, then come back and watch this video, and be prepared for the next one, which is really going to give you the meat and potatoes on how to manifest and how to bring the reality into your physical three-dimensional time and space arena as soon as possible. You're going to love this stuff, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Okay, next is the website. Yes, please visit my website. Please refer my website to other people. All my videos can be found there. Well, it's www.KarenHolton, that's me, healthcoach, that's me.com. Okay, you can follow my blog, you can watch my transformative videos. Everything about my services is totally upfront. I tell you exactly what I can help with, how much it's going to cost you, and because I produced the workshop 9-step series, well actually I still have 3, 2, and 1 to do. The amount of coaching you're going to need is significantly reduced because the jumping off point is always going to be a video. And so what you can't get from the primer, what you can't get from the live action video, you're going to get live from me. So I think this is very cost effective. I also am available to go out and do public speaking, and I'm available to do workshops for nonprofits or profit-making organizations, groups, or even a few people in someone's living room. It matters not. I'm just happy to get my message out. Thank you for joining me for understanding the power of heuristics and speaking your truth. And the next step, and what I'm working on now, is step 3, indigo, understanding and using perception within the construct, and manifesting change, seeing is believing. Okay, it's a big mouthful, so I'll just sort of tell you what it means in ordinary English. The construct is the social, political, economic arena that we live in, and we are either born into it because of the country we live in, or we're re-socialized if we immigrate to another country to the construct in that country. And every country has its own construct, and they're very different. And that's why traveling is so educational, because you get to see how different societies approach issues from different perspectives, okay? And the construct is not all there is to life. It is an environment that we all navigate through, okay? So understanding how our perceptions relate to that construct and manifesting change. And again, my saying, you know how we all have these little sayings, you know, thoughts become things, or there's all kinds of little slogans that mean the same thing. So mine is seeing is believing. And you got to see it in here before you can actually believe it. And when you think it's actually possible and that you deserve it and that it's for you, it comes much faster. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to manifest. But again, step 4 is pretty important. Step 9, all of these steps are really important before you do step 3. I probably should have done it backwards, but oh, what the heck, it's done now. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you soon. And that's about it. So I want you to have a wonderful day. I want you to have a wonderful life. I want you to see that you deserve miracles. And I want you to see miracles in your own life. Miracles that are so amazing. And I'm going to give you some experiences in my next video, in the live video, of things that have happened to me that were impossible, improbable, unlikely, and yet they happened for me. If they can happen for me, they can happen for you, because we're all the same oneness. So take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Lion only makes you hurt. Denying only makes it worse. Love and surrender seem the fastest way to bring an end to bitter, painful days. Somewhere down the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil, and you will thrill to hear your calling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years, 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.